What's up, good people of the Sports Legend Nations? It is Monday, November 12th. We have a 9-game slate today. It's Monday. We got a new week. Pretty sure the theme for me last week was bubble because I was about the bubble boy in probably 6 or 7 contests or tournaments all week long. It was just not a good week. So it's time to turn that around. It's Monday. We got 9 games. Pretty decent looking slate. I like quite a bit, so we're going to try to hurry up. And, well, I say hurry up. We're going to run through this as quickly as possible, as once again, I try to make this as fast as I can. Just want to get out what I like and just let you guys know. So, anyway, I'm going to roll right into it with Orlando and Washington. This seems like this has been a popular theme. It seems like these teams have played 3 or 4 times already, but I think they've only played once or twice. For Orlando, obviously they're on a back-to-back. Once again, look, Terrence Ross's price has jumped up to 5.1. He's been playing really well lately. I don't hate the play, but obviously, Aaron Gordon sat yesterday. Don't know his status tonight. Obviously, if he sits again, Terrence Ross is definitely going to be a good look again. Jonathan Isaac is still out. So, Terrence Ross is going to be playing the 2 and the 3 behind Fournier and behind Wes Iwundo, I guess. He's been getting the start for Jonathan Isaac. So, Terrence Ross, not a bad look. I think if you want to go cheapies, and this is why I'm telling you to go cheap, is because I think that these guys could possibly see added minutes. Guys like Jerrion Grant at 3.7 has seen quite a few minutes here lately. Jonathan Simmons had over 22, I think, fantasy points yesterday. He's 3.3K. Obviously, like I said, if Aaron Gordon is out, he would probably definitely be a very nice value punt. I would say Jonathan Simmons at 3.3. Mohamed Bamba, hope some of you guys got on him yesterday from the SC Slack chat. He was part of the little bit of information I threw out yesterday before yesterday's slate. He's 4.1. He has now put up 26 and 29.5 in his last 2 games in only like 17 or 18 minutes. Guy's absolutely demolishing his per minute value, but as far as the price-wise goes, you would obviously want him to get more minutes there, especially in the GPP. So, with that said, Bamba, it's kind of a judgment call. Again, obviously, if Aaron Gordon is out, it would make a lot more sense. But I think if not, it's strictly a preference play there whatever you want to go with. So for Washington, I think Dwight Howard is in an excellent spot playing against his former team once again, who he only put up 20 fantasy points against last game. Vucevic in Orlando was one of the worst center defending teams last year. This year they seem to be a little bit better, but nonetheless, Howard should be able to hit 30+ tonight, given at least 25 minutes, which I'm hoping he should be able to get around. I'm hoping to see more like 28. But anyways, Howard definitely on the radar. Brad Beal at 7.1, 47.5 fantasy points in his last game against Orlando. I hate to say it, but John Wall is locked down pretty decently. John Wall has continued to kind of be subpar. His price is only 8.1, and I'm just, I'm not feeling it. I'd rather play Bill, I think. And plus, Orlando's actually been pretty damn decent against the point guard spot here lately, defensively. So DJ Augustine locking people down. So Brad Beal, I think you go there again at 7.1. If you want to look cheap, you can go Oubre at 4.3, 29 minutes in his last game, or 29 fantasy points, in his last game versus Orlando here a couple nights ago. So Oubre at 4.3 is definitely a nice value look. Even Jeff Green at 4K, he got some nice minutes. He's gotten nice minutes in his last 2. I don't know, man. The way that he's kind of stepping in for Markieff a little bit. Markieff played like 15 minutes last game. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what's going on with Markieff. Otto Porter hasn't really been. He seems like he's kind of coming back from that toe injury, and he had a really good game or 2 back to back, and then all of a sudden he's kind of a no-show again. So not really on Otto Porter, not really on Markieff. I think you can go cheaper with those guys. They're getting their minutes ate into a little bit by guys like Oubre. Oubre's been seeing tons of minutes, so he's definitely one that I would look at. Jeff Green, if you want to feel a little bit punty, I don't hate it. So that's really what I'm looking at in Orlando and Washington. So with that said, that's where I'm going in Orlando and Washington. Let's move along to Philadelphia at Miami here with the total of 222. Miami comes in as a 1.5 point favorite. I don't think a lot of people will be on Hassan Whiteside tonight, and I think that's probably going to be a mistake. His price at 8.2 is not very, very favorable, but I just don't think hardly anybody's going to be on him, which makes him a lot more attractive to me. Embiid's price is down to 10-1. It seems like he has two or three monster games, and then wham, his price is back down to 10.1, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. But I just don't like the matchup for him tonight, and I don't think I'll be on Embiid tonight. I think if I was to play one of them, I'd probably play Simmons. Simmons is continuing to play very well, and we know that Miami has not been the point guard or the, which now I'm not really sure how they're going to work that rotation. McConnell got 32 minutes last game, which is not one of my favorites, but I really like him as a punt tonight at 3.8. You can't really hate that. But also, other than that, I like J.J. Redick. I like Simmons. J.J. Redick obviously going to get a big uptick in minutes with no Rob Cove now. Daryl Saric is gone. I don't know if those – I guess that trade hasn't been finalized, so I guess those guys are just sitting and waiting. Butler's still sitting and waiting over in Minnesota. Anyway, Redick, McConnell, Simmons. I think if you want to go for the Miami Heat side, I really like Hassan Whiteside. Rodney McGruder at 5'7" is a decent look. Another one of my more lockable punts values tonight is going to be Wayne Ellington again at 3.8. Really like some Wayne Ellington at 3.8, 30, 24, and 37 minutes in his last three. 25 plus fantasy points in two of his last three. So Wayne Ellington at 3.8, definitely a good look again. Everybody forgot about him last game. He put up 25.5 fantasy points. Not great, but at 3.7K, you'll take it. It's above value. That's really all that I like in Philadelphia at Miami. Sorry. Move right along. I didn't mention Olenek at 4.1. I think if Muscala comes back and, Philadelphia kind of tries to run big, I think that Olenek could see quite a few minutes. His minutes have been sporadic. It's been off and on, getting 20-plus and then getting like 16 or 15. I think it's pure preference and judgment play. I mean, I kind of like him a little bit tonight. I might throw him in the GPP. I'm not sure. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, Pelicans at Toronto. This would seem like a game that would be pretty popular because, of course, you have AD, you have, Kawhi. The guys that I like in this game are Kyle Lowry. I like Valanciunas, obviously, because he's, they're going to play AD, they're going to play Randall. They're going to want to play big a little bit. So Siakam, obviously, is going to be pretty busy. But I think Valanciunas at 5.3 is a good look. I think Daylon Wright at 3.3 is a real nice value play. I mean, not value, punt play it for Toronto. It looks like he's been getting a few extra minutes here and there, and he's actually been doing quite a bit with his minutes. The last 24 minutes in two of his last three, 27.3 fantasy points in his last game. So Daylon Wright, decent look if you want to look that way. Obviously, we're going to be looking to see if Mirotic and Elf is out again. They're both questionable. Not really sure what's going to happen there, but obviously if they do not play, you're obviously going to want to play Randall, Holiday, and AD. That's going to be the main guys. So there you go. That's Pelicans, Toronto. Let's move along to Dallas and Chicago. A lot of games have no lines tonight. Obviously, looking to see who's going to play, who's not. I'm not really a huge fan of Dallas and Chicago. I think this game is just horse poo. So the only people that I'm really looking at is Doncic, Wendell Carter Jr. You can pay it for Levine if you want at 8.1, but I don't believe I will. I think if you want to go cheap, you can look at Barea at 4K. I think he should get some decent run. Obviously, if there turns out to be some kind of an ugly game, which we know Chicago's not very good, but that's really, Justin Holiday at 5K if you want to go there. I don't hate it. He's been putting up 20-plus fantasy points in mostly all of his games, but he's just not putting up much more than that, between that 20 to 24 range. So that's really all that I care for in Dallas. I'm serious. I really just don't like that game at all. Let's move along to Brooklyn at Minnesota. This one has a lot of appeal, obviously. You got to love Derrick Rose now at 7.5. I don't care what his price is. You just got to love him. Brooklyn's been getting dominated by point guard spots. Brooklyn's been getting dominated by most spots. Obviously, D Rose and Towns are probably two of my favorite game stack plays of tonight. This should be, with no Butler, I mean, these two guys should totally eat. So Wiggins, if he sits, it would be even better. Then you can get a guy like Josh Okogie again at 3.9K. He should be probably back in the fold now that Butler will be gone for good. So Josh Okogie at 3.9, definitely a nice look at the punt side of things, value side if you want to call it, because I believe he will get minutes. For Brooklyn, LeVert is questionable, came down on a knee. He says he's fine. Who knows? That'd be a big one if he doesn't play. Be really big if he does not play. So definitely watch for LeVert's status. D'Angelo Russell at 6K. Don't hate it. Dinwiddie at 4.8. Don't hate it. I think the GPP play for the Brooklyn Nets is going to be Allen Crabbe at 3.6. He's getting the minutes, just his shot's not falling, and he's not getting a whole lot of opportunities. But I think one of those signature Allen Crabbe bust-out games is coming. It could not be tonight. It could be next week, but I think it's coming. So 3.6 at Crabbe, stick him in the GPP. Don't hate it. That's really all that I like in Brooklyn, Minnesota. Make sure everybody and their brothers are going to be playing D Rose and Towns. I know that, but I think it's a good chalk. Towns 8.9 and D Rose 7.5K. I like it. So let's move along. Phoenix at OKC. Not a whole lot to like here. OKC. It has a lot of nice looks here with obviously Schroeder at 7.3, Adams at 6.7's put up 40 or more in his last two, 40 more fantasy points that is. Jeremy Grant at 4.8 is a good look. For the Phoenix side, I really like TJ Warren at 5.5 again. His price is staying the same and he's getting the start. He's playing the minutes. I like TJ Warren at 5.5, definitely do. Booker at 7.9 if you want to go there, sure. Don't hate it. Obviously, I don't really like the matchup as well, but this is going to be a fast-paced game if Phoenix can keep up. That's the problem. Isaiah Canaan at 4.2 if you want to get freaky. He's getting the minutes. He's not blowing anything away, but 4.2 if you feel it. I don't hate it. So that's really all that I like in Phoenix and OKC. Once again, like half of these games don't even have a line, so you can't see the total, don't see the favorite, don't see any of that good stuff. On to one of my probably more favorite concentrated games is going to be Utah at Memphis. 204 on the total, -3 for Utah. I love Conley and Gasol. That's probably my favorite two-man stack other than D-Rose and Towns tonight. Love them. They've been owning Utah in both of their games this season so far. Gasol put up 51 and 44.8, both meetings at Utah, I think, already. Conley put up 53.5 in his last game just now against Philadelphia. Conley 6.9 and Gasol 7.1K. That's really what I like in Memphis. Obviously, those two are your biggest guys. Jaren Jackson kind of had a letdown game last game. I'm not a big fan of him going up against Big White Chocolate with Joe Ingles, so I'm not going to mess with that one. But I do like Favors at 4.3. I do like Crowder at 5.2. And I think you can play Don Mitch at 7.7. Looks like Rubio's questionable, but probable to play tonight. So Donovan Mitchell at 7.7 I think is a fair price. So that's kind of where I'm looking in that game. San Antonio at Sacramento. San Antonio comes in as a 3-point road favorite, 217 on the total. You got to love DeRozan here at 9.3. I think I would probably play him before I play like Embiid or maybe even KD, or maybe not AD. Maybe AD I think is pretty high on my list. But DeRozan, yeah, you kind of got to play him. I'd play him over Levine, and probably even over Lowry at this point. So DeRozan, pretty high on my list. I really like Derek White at 4.3. You will not see his price at this low again now that he's starting. I'm not really sure who made his price tonight, but obviously he's on the low end again, and he's back from injury, played 30 minutes, put up 30 – I think he put up 30 fantasy points last game. He played 29 minutes. Anyways, Derek White, 4.3, definitely be getting him in there. I think LaMarcus Aldridge should be in a smash spot, but, last year where they didn't have DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge was the one that was crushing every night whenever they didn't have guys like Pau Gasol, Rudy Gay. Looks like Rudy Gay might play tonight anyways, so that would be something to watch for. But other than that, I don't know if I can pay 8.1 for him. He's just not really getting the job done lately. It's DeRozan. DeRozan's eating usage, and he's the guy. So that's all that I really like San Antonio as far as that. I mean, if you want to play LMA, I have no problem. But more DeRozan, Derek White. For Sacramento, I'm looking at Fox. De'Aaron Fox has been playing absolutely well at 7.1. I think Buddy Hield's in line for a bounce back. He had a dud last game. But he's getting well over, he's playing starter minutes, and I believe in Buddy Hield. He's got a good shot. He'll bounce back tonight. Willie Cauley-Stein at 6'2", sure. Willie Cauley-Stein been playing very well. 43.5, 33, 31 his last three at home. Pretty decent numbers there. Obviously with the 43.5 exceeding value, real nice. So I like that little stack there, kind of. Fox, Hield, Willie Cauley-Stein. DeRozan, Derek White. That's really all that I'm liking in this game. Move along to your chalk stack game of the night, which is Golden State at the Clippers, and I really love the Clippers again. I think they're in an excellent spot. Draymond's questionable. No Steph. Really kind of evens the playing field a little bit. I think here in this game is highly stackable. Really like Gallinari at 5.6. I think he's just too cheap. I love the spot for him tonight. Gallinari at 5.6. Got to get him in there. Montrezl Harrell has been playing really well at 5.6, 37 39 fantasy points in his last two. Lou Williams has went for over 30 fantasy points in his last 5 games. He's 6.1. Gil Alexander has been playing very well, 35 and 40 minutes in his last 2, and he's 4.2K, so do not sleep on him. I know it's not a great matchup with Quinn Cook, but he plays more of the 2-guard, I believe, now with Pat Bev, when they're running 1 and 2s. So, Gil, I like him. For Golden State, obviously KD at 11K, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'm paying for KD. We're going to see what Dre looks like. If not, we're going to obviously look at a guy like McKinney at 3.8. Jordan Bell might get some more minutes. I'm not real sure what Dre's status is. Obviously, Quinn Cook at 5K is not a bad look. I don't think he's going to have the 40-point fantasy output that he had last game against this team as far as he did against Brooklyn. We know the Nets are not very good. So, KD, Cook if you want it, McKinney, I'd look that way. I'm looking at Gallinari for sure, Lou Williams, Harrell, Gil Alexander, Tobias Harris, if no Dre, for sure at 7K even, I'd be playing some Tobias Harris as well. So that's going to wrap up the games. Let me just kind of run through what I like here a little bit. Favorites, Dwight Howard, Bill, Doncic, Wendell Carter Jr., Redick, Derrick Rose, Towns, Schroeder, Adams, Gasol and Conley, Buddy Hield, Fox, Willie Cauley-Stein, DeRozan, Lou Williams, Tobias Harris, Gallinari. So, as far as my values and punts, I like McConnell, Ellington, Oubre, Jerry and Grant, Daylon Wright, Alan Crabb, Josh Okogie, Jeremy Grant, TJ Warren Crowder, Derek White, Gallinari, obviously, Gil Alexander, and McKinney at 3.8. That's going to wrap it up. That's going to wrap it up for episode 12 of Quick Breaks NBA DFS podcast, brought to you by the great guys over at the Sports Gens. Hope you guys have a wonderful Monday.